What's the bottom line when supersizing your business? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with an awesome graphic, written backwards, of course. This is actually a sample financial statement. It's an income and expenses cash flow document that says, okay, here's my income, here's my expenses. What's the bottom line? When I take all my income and subtract all my expenses, what's the bottom line for a certain period of time? This is an American expression that was made up in the 1960s by corporate organization and by corporations to say, this is the bottom line. This is whether we're profitable or not. And so we always wanted to be in the black. We talked about being in the black a little bit back, in the red and in the black, meaning in the red, we're losing money. In the black, we're making money. And so I don't know about you, but I've always wanted my businesses all the time to be in the black. Have they been? Absolutely not. Sometimes we're in the red, and then we have to make quick changes and figure out ways to get back in the black. Now, there's a difference between, from a bottom line perspective, from any perspective, and profitability of cash flow, having cash, and our accounting records being in the red or in the black. I've experienced that. Depending on the business that you're in, that can happen as well, right? You might be cash rich, but your financial statements might have you actually being in the red by the time you do all your accounting and depreciation and amortization and all the things that we do, or all of the things our magical accountants do for our books and our bookkeeping and our taxes and all those financial things that I have long since not done myself. But bottom line, this is just a little graphic to represent. The bottom line is the number at the bottom of the page that corporations want people to look at. They don't really want you to go in and look at all the income and expenses necessarily. They want you to look at the bottom line. And if you're a stakeholder, they want you to be happy because the bottom line is a positive number. And it works in all of the different financial statements that corporations report, right? We want to see black on all of those documents, not just some of them. We want assets versus liabilities and owner's equity to balance out. But we want there to be more assets than there are liabilities with respect to any company that we are involved in. So how does this impact your business? What does it mean to your business? The bottom line. The bottom line is the final result of something. It's the most important consideration, or it's the most important activity or discussion. It's the most important part of something, the bottom line. So what is the most important part when it comes to supersizing and growing your business? For me, I want to be in the black, right? I want to be making a profit, but I also want to make sure that I'm meeting the other goals and objectives of my business, of my organization. And that includes things that aren't necessarily financial, even though we're focusing on financial well-being this month because we're doing the financial well-being for our annual challenge. There's other measures that are important that we keep track of to create the business that we want to see in the world, right? To create the type of business that we want to create. And those a lot of times have nothing to do with money, but we want to come up with ways to measure, key performance indicators, ways to know, are we moving toward what it is that we want, or are we moving away from it? Are we creating what we want to see in the world? And it's up to us to come up with, how do we measure that? How do we know? How do we know if we're having a positive impact on the world? How do we know if we're having a positive impact on our customers, on the economy, on our own personal environments, etc.? So we want to have goals and budgets, and depending on your organization and what you're creating, how much you budget is going to, and how strict you are at your budgeting process is totally up to you. I've been in companies that I joined that were big, $100 million companies in corporate America that had no budgeting. They did no budgeting for the first 50 years in business, which I don't know how they did it, but they were super successful. And I entered the company just at the time when they were having to formalize certain things like budgets, bidding processes, etc. So what are our goals? And do we need budgets to help us move toward those goals? Or what measurement tools are we going to use to know if we're moving toward our goals or not? And then we need to think about, with respect to the bottom line, our plan, our goals, our budgets, and the plans to reach those goals versus our actual performance. At some points, we have to look and say, are we on course to creating what we want with our business? So I would love to know your experience with this expression, this idiom, the bottom line. It's been around my whole life, so it's just been inherent, and I've been in businesses almost all my life. So bottom line, understanding the bottom line, knowing what your bottom line is, knowing what your results are has always been very, very important to me. Wondering your thoughts and your experience with this. Share in the comments below, and I will be with you tomorrow with another financial related idiom for this month. If I can help you in any way, if there's a financial idiom you're just dying to know the origin of, what it means, where it came from, and how you could apply it to your business, make sure you comment, because we only have a few more days left of this month. Have an awesome day, and I'll be with you tomorrow.